Hi, this is Phil Newman. I'm the editor-in-chief of Longevity.Technology, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the founder of Longevity Vision Fund and the author of a soon-to-be released book, Growing Young. He doesn't need much of an introduction, but here he is, Sergey Young.
Hi, Phil. Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here with you today.
Great, Sergey. So wonderful to read the book. In the book, you talk about longevity having two horizons. You talk about the near horizon, where we would live to perhaps 150 years old, and the far horizon, where we would live perhaps to 200, embracing technologies such as Internet of Bodies, digital avatars, and things like that. So what was the rationale behind splitting between the 150 and the 200 plus?
Great. I do think because of the massive developments, both on science and technological front, we need to bring just a little bit of order of what to expect and what to embrace when. And obviously 150 years for near horizon and 200 years for far horizon is a little bit more judgmental figures. But what I wanted to show that technologies that going to be available to us within the near horizon in the next 10, 15 years will help us to break the barrier of the maximum lifespan that we have today on Earth. So the maximum lifespan that we had on record is 122 years. So I put the figure of 150 to show that we can break this sound barrier and radically extend our lifespan and health span.
So in terms of the technologies that you address in the book, what do you see are going to be the key technologies that are happening now? Maybe they're going to be available in the next 5 years, or perhaps they're going to show strong R&D progress over the next 5 years. What do you feel are going to be the things that you're looking out for, as well as potential investors, what they should be looking out for?
So what is happening? Longevity Vision Fund is almost 75% dedicated to near horizon of longevity. So when people ask me, like, what are the 3 most promising fields within the near horizon? I'm always starting with gene editing and gene therapy. And 20 years ago, we spent $3 billion in US to sequence human genome. And it took us actually 6 years. Right now, it's $200 and few hours. Well, that's amazing. In fact, we all participating, hopefully in a positive experiment of using gene therapy in the form of COVID vaccines like Moderna or a lot of other vaccines that we have access to. And that's amazing development, because if you think about gene editing opportunities, if we will be able to influence all 3,000 longevity genes that we already discovered in our DNA, we will have an opportunity to stop aging process or to influence this significantly, and again, radically extend our lifespan. But it's not only about quantity of life, it's also about quality. It's going to be healthy and happy state. We can influence that as well. So in fact, we invested a lot in gene therapy recently, and it was a lot of interesting things happening all around the world in this field. Second thing for me is our ability to regenerate or replace our organs. And if you take old car metaphor from Aubrey de Grey, and Aubrey says, so we need to switch from looking at our body from biological point of view into more engineering point of view. So if you think about our body as an old or new car, you obviously would enjoy the idea of replacing organs which are not functioning. And obviously, actually, funny enough, 2 most difficult organs to replace is actually brain and our heart. That's very symbolic. But there's so many things happening in this place, like Martin Rothblatt. I had an amazing interview with her for the book, who's working on different ways to regenerate organs using completely different biomaterials, or a lot of things happening in organ 3D bioprinting. It's still early stage, but like in 5 to 10 years, organs 3D bioprinting will have the same effect, disruptive effect, like 3D printing had on real estate, manufacturing, and so many industries. Or let's talk about a company called like Genesis. They based in Pittsburgh. Jim Allen, Juvenescence, was actually early supporters of Genesis, and we invested there as well for Longevity Vision Fund. They're using our lymph nodes to regrow organs inside our body. That's amazing. They started with liver. Liver transplantation is $600,000 to $800,000 procedure in US, and people are dying, just being on a waiting list for 6, 9, 12 months for liver transplantation. Like Genesis will be able to help 70 patients from one donor liver. That's just, it's decrease and disruption of cost of liver transplantation by a factor of 20 to 50 times. And then the third and my favorite topic is longevity in appeal. I do think that in 5 to 10 years time from now, we'll have a new special kind of drugs, longevity drugs. And unlike today's medication, which always focus on one disease, this kind of drugs will give us an opportunity to influence aging as a whole in a very holistic way, and obviously working on a health span, not only on lifespan as well. So, and we already have a few candidates for that. It's like generic drug called metformin or rapamycin, or it's very likely that it's going to be a new drug developed with the help of artificial intelligence, which will compress drug development cycle by 2 or 3 times from today.
Fascinating. So you're saying really gene therapy, organ regeneration, and therapeutic rejuvenation are going to be the big tickets over the next 5 years and beyond for where we're going with our tech at this stage in the sector.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so the book, Sergey, is obviously full of lots of practical advice. It's more like a handbook for longevity. So for our readers, what are the takeaways? What can I be doing today to begin my journey for longevity and life extension?
Good. So what are the key takeaways for the book? Number one, we are right in the middle of longevity revolution. We're living at very unique point of time and point of human evolution, where breakthroughs in science, breakthroughs in technology give us amazing opportunity to radically extend our lifespan and health span. So we just need to watch for the signs, embrace them, and use it in our personal health strategy. So that's one. Two, a lot of these technologies and breakthroughs in science will be available to us in 10, 15 years time, because they still in development stage. We need to sort out the regulatory issues, the ethical issues as well. So it's very important to stay on longevity bridge. It's very important to take back control for your own health and use technologies like early cancer diagnostic or lifestyle changes to make sure that you are living as healthy and as happy as possible in the next 10, 15 years. So then when you reach this near horizon of longevity, your body and your mind is actually worth extending its resource. So that's a second piece. Third piece, in the next 25 to 50 years, our ability to redefine human body and mind will be fundamentally different. It's going to be completely different kind of humans in 50 years from now. And while I'm not worried about technology and the science, I do think that before embracing all of this, like human avatars, Internet of Bodies, human brain AI integration in invasive or non-invasive way, we need to sort out the ethics of this world, because 2/3 of the people in different countries don't like the idea of life extension. We have managed to create the science and technology to extend our life, but we haven't created the life that we want to extend. And the time for this change is not in 25 years from now. It's today. It's about inequality. It's about our relationship with Mother Nature, being more responsible and living with consequences of our own actions. It's about changing our social structure. What will happen with our career, with the paradigm of our life, with our marriages? All of these things we need to discuss, we need to have a conversation, and we need to sort out to create this beautiful world where we want to live longer. So that's a third piece. And the fourth piece, just coming back to my idea of taking back responsibility for your own health. Each of us today, especially after COVID, need to have our personal health strategy. We delegated all our health-related choices to other parties, to doctors, hospitals, insurance companies, big pharma, big food, like industrial food producers. We need to have a voice there. I'm not saying like we need just to decide it on our own. There's a lot of professional help that we need in this dialogue and this conversation and going through these trade-offs. But it's time to dig into this conversation and be essential and important part of it. And it's a great discovery journey. Yeah, when I started to look at the issues of human health, how our biology works, what is the influence of lifestyle changes on our state, well, it's been an amazing discovery process for me. And I invite all the readers to start this discovery journey today.
So, Sergey, you mentioned it briefly there. So Longevity Bridge, you see that really being as us taking hold of our lifestyles, engaging with the tech and the supplements and the therapies that are available today, combined with lifestyle choices to be in a position where perhaps the singularity will happen, longevity, escape velocity, the Methuselarity and so forth will happen. Just to kind of come back a little bit on your comment about regulation and so on. I mean, I'm very struck about how familiar we all are with fintech and obviously what's happened with fintech and crypto and the way that deregulation has kind of happened in so many marketplaces and been disrupted so significantly. And you mentioned authorities earlier about approvals and so forth. So do you feel that governments, regulatory bodies, are they going to be able to keep up with what's happening with the longevity sector at the moment?
Well, I do think that data is, and solving the data issues and regulations is essential for health of so many nations. So like look at the UK. I do think UK have an opportunity to solve and regulate this access to data and mine, store, and leverage this data, obviously while protecting the privacy for the benefit of the nations and the benefit of the world, for the health of UK citizens and for the global health as well. And I do think it's an opportunity for UK to get a competitive advantage on the global scale. So that's for UK. US is just a little bit different in terms of the state of healthcare. US, and it's very sad, has the most inefficient, the most expensive healthcare system in the world. 18% of US GDP is spent on healthcare. And in the last 5 years, pre-COVID, 3 out of these 5 years, the lifespan in US were on decline. This is ridiculous. For developed nation of this size and this level of excellence, we need to change that. And that's why for US, I don't think it's an opportunity. It's a huge demand. It's a huge challenge. The US regulators need to change to collect, manage, and leverage data for the health of the nation. Otherwise, it's going to be done by big tech with combination of their commercial interest and their dominating position in US or globally as well. So I do think it's time to act on that.
Fascinating. Well, of course, the book does address a lot of these things, as well as obviously the practicalities of starting your longevity journey. So Growing Young, when's the book going to be coming out, Sergey?
It's going to be August 24th, both in UK and US. We already #1 in preventive medicine category on Amazon. Well, that's amazing for the book, which is a few weeks away from publishing. And we already got a lot of support for the book. It's been an amazing 3 years journey. I spent hours and days in different labs in the best clinics in the world and best academic institutions. I even discussed human avatars with Peter Jackson. So I'm very excited to share with all of us. So like everyone, every reader can start their longevity journey today.
Great, Sergey. Well, I'm glad to say that you've given us some of your content from the book to serialize for our readers. So thank you in advance for that. We'll be running the serialization as we lead up to the launch of the book. So great to see you today, Sergey. Best of luck with the book, and always a pleasure to speak with you.
Likewise. And to all our audience, please stay healthy and happy. Thank you.